Hey everyone, welcome. Today, we are going to tackle something that's absolutely critical in reading a heartbeat, but believe it or not, gets missed all the time. We're talking about the QT interval. It's just a tiny little measurement on an EKG, but it tells a massive story about the heart's health, and I'm going to show you exactly how to see it.
So, let me start by asking you a question. You've seen an EKG, right? It's that snapshot of the heart's electrical activity, full of all these patterns. Doctors have to spot the dangerous ones to save lives. But what do you think is the single most critical, potentially life-threatening finding that they are most likely to miss?
The answer is, well, it's pretty shocking. Get this. According to a study from the Medical Journal of Australia, doctors are great at spotting a major heart attack, a STEMI, about 90% of the time. Awesome, right? But when it comes to identifying a prolonged QT interval, that accuracy just plummets to around 20%. I mean, that's a massive, massive gap, and it's one that can have really serious consequences.
So our goal for this explainer is super simple. We're going to give you a powerful, easy-to-use tool to screen for this exact finding with nothing more than your own eyes. We're going to make sure you don't miss it.
And before we dive in, we just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor. This explainer is brought to you by Whole Life Healthcare. They're committed to making vital health info accessible to everybody, which is what we're all about.
All right, so to really get the QT interval, we first have to understand the EKG itself. I know. It can look like a bunch of random, crazy squiggles on a piece of paper, but it's not. It's actually a story. And right now, we're going to learn how to read it.
Okay, I love this slide. It breaks it down into the humpy bit, the jiggly bit, and the lumpy bit. And you know what? It's hilarious, but it's not wrong. It really gets to the core idea here. Every single part of this waveform, every little bump and wiggle, is telling a specific part of the heart's story.
So, let's get the official terms down. The heart's electrical story is written in the language of waves. Those are the humps and jiggles. Segments, which are the flat lines, and intervals, which are all about measuring time.
Now, the most important word for us today, the one I really want you to focus on, is interval. See, an interval isn't a shape, it's a duration. It actually measures the time it takes for something to happen inside the heart. Keep that in your head. We are measuring time.
And all of that brings us right here to the star of our show, the QT interval, highlighted for you in green. So what is it? In the simplest terms, it measures the total time for the heart's main pumping chambers to squeeze blood out and then fully recharge for the very next beat. Squeeze and recharge. That's the entire cycle it represents.
Okay, so how do we know if that squeeze and recharge time is taking too long? Well, you don't need a fancy computer. You don't even need a ruler. All you need are your eyes and a brilliantly simple little trick.
Okay, let's do this. It's called the halfway rule. And I'm not kidding when I say a third grader could learn this. Step 1. You find the distance between two of those tallest spikes. That's called the RR interval. Step 2. Just eyeball the halfway point of that distance. Seriously, just guess. And step 3. Now look at that final lumpy bit of the heartbeat. Does it finish up before that halfway point, or does it go after it? That's it. Let's see this in action. Look at the EKG on the left. See how that final lumpy T wave clearly ends before the halfway mark between the two big peaks? That's a normal QT interval. Perfect. Now look over at the right. See how that T wave stretches out and goes way past the halfway point? That is a prolonged QT. It is a big red flag that your eyes can spot in seconds.
Now there is one little wrinkle to all of this. The heart speed, its rates, can actually affect this measurement, so we need to account for that. And that's where something called the corrected QT comes into play.
Think of it this way. If you're sprinting, you take a bunch of quick, short steps, right? But if you're just strolling, your steps are longer and more drawn out. Well, the heart is exactly the same. A faster heart rate naturally shortens that squeeze and recharge time, and a slower heart rate makes it longer. It just makes sense.
And this is precisely why doctors use the QTC, or the corrected QT interval. Our eyeball test is a fantastic screening tool, don't get me wrong, but the QTC is the official measurement that's been adjusted for the heart rate. This is the number that really guides the big clinical decisions.
Okay, so we can spot a long QT interval. Awesome. But why is that so important? Why does this one little measurement matter so much?
Well, a huge reason this matters is that so many of the causes of a prolonged QT are actually treatable. Just look at this list. It can be triggered by low electrolyte levels like potassium or magnesium, low body temperature, or, and this is a really common one, certain medications. A lot of the time, this isn't a permanent defect. It's a temporary problem that can be fixed.
And this is why it is so critical. A prolonged QT interval means the heart's electrical system is unstable, it's vulnerable, and it's at risk of tipping into a chaotic, life-threatening rhythm. So spotting this with a simple eyeball test isn't just a neat party trick, it's the first vital step in preventing a medical emergency.
Now, if you found this useful and you want to take your skills to the next level, we've got just the thing. We've put together a complete EKG survival pack and a super handy EKG cheat sheet. They are perfect guides if you're studying for certifications or you just want to deepen your knowledge. Just click the link right there in the description to check them out.
So we'll leave you with this final thought. We just learned a simple halfway rule that can help screen for a life-threatening issue, one that even the experts often miss. It kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other simple pieces of knowledge are out there that are way more powerful than we ever realize?